You're asking yourself the question whether you're in contact or not with your special someone, your counterpart. You're wondering, is he or she actually happy? Maybe you've heard something from the outside, picked up on something. And yes, it could also have to do with another person. You know, we're talking collectively here. So I always have to keep it a bit more general. Collectively, it could have to do with another person where you're asking yourself, wow, is he happy with her now? Or more generally, is he happy? Is he doing well, even though I might not be there? In general, maybe because you don't hear anything or you do hear something, but you can't really make sense of it. Where that is something, I don't know. You can't, there's just this big question mark for you. And that's what we're going to look at now. We're tapping into the energy of the present moment, the most prominent energy that wants to reveal itself. And the person cards are gender neutral. Please always adapt them for yourselves accordingly. And a collective reading can't resonate with everyone. Once again, a heartfelt thank you for your comments. So wonderfully, beautifully. And I also took the question from the collective, from the community. And yes, as I said, is he happy? I'm tuning into the energy to see whether it has to do with another person, whether he's in a relationship, a new relationship, or even in general, whether he's happy that you might not be there, you know? And maybe he broke up with me, withdrew, and now, yeah, I'm happy. Something along those lines. And that's what we're going to look at, how things are currently with him. Okay, and dear ones, you know, when time frames are mentioned, time is always fluid. Don't hold me to it, especially here in collective readings in general, when it comes to timing, because you always have that in your own hands, the timing, right? Okay, so let's take a look. He has a major issue with himself, definitely. He has a really big issue with himself, and we see movement more within himself. And there's a new beginning. So something is here. Yeah, there's some kind of speed or urgency showing up where he has a really intense issue with himself. Maybe he's reflecting right now, you know? He's definitely preoccupied with himself. It could also be that there's a lot of selfishness going on here, but he also knows something. He has to take matters into his own hands. He has to take action. And so, yeah, that's how it is, because something just isn't quite right with him. It could also be that he's busy with activities. Maybe he's really deep into things right now, always on the go. But he notices that something isn't right anymore because something just doesn't quite fit for him. Maybe he's also running away from something. Let's see what's really going on here. But something is rumbling inside him, making him realize he has to take matters into his own hands. He has to take action here. Something isn't right here. So let's see how this continues. And yes, that's fantastic again. So the parts, yeah. What did we have here, right? Activity, right? He has to take things into his own hands here, and this is about decisions. Decisions, it's, he doesn't really know how to choose. Maybe he's always made the wrong choice in the past. It's not a solution, but it's a turning point, a very, very clear turning point that can be seen here, where he is right now. Of course, now we're at the question, is he currently happy? No. So something isn't right because there's a turning point here. There's something here that just doesn't quite fit anymore. And maybe he was never really or not truly willing to compromise either, narrow-minded when it came to making decisions. And maybe he always chose something else or opted for other alternatives. Then we also have the birds. So there's a restlessness, you know. So again, we have the turning point. I sense restlessness in him, but currently happy is we have restlessness, nervousness. So there's something hectic, you know, stress, just like here with the activities. Something isn't right anymore with him or her. So peace and harmony. I don't see any of that at the moment, nor happiness. And as I said, the restlessness, and maybe, you know, because when we see the birds, they also show that he is in a vibration with someone or with other people, right? In this vibration. So there's something there that maybe doesn't really suit him either. This restlessness, this nervousness, this hectic energy, this ooh, you know. This, yeah. Maybe it also has to do with the activities. These are energies from others that are being shown as well. He has picked up something here, but notices that something isn't right. Something doesn't fit. And there's a turning point. A decision needs to be made, right? Activity is being shown. To what extent? Let's take a look at what's really going on there. So it's already starting off very interesting. Whoops. Also the question of whether he's actually happy right now, the good guy. Oops. Yeah, pretty strong issues from the past. We have running away, yes. The running away, but something is rumbling here. No? So I have to smile now because, yes, he's really deluding himself. He's really quite a clown. He's totally fooling himself. We have a major theme here, waking up. And energies definitely coming from outside. From outside, energies, the pressure, this restlessness, nervousness is being shown again, and it's completely blocking him here. If we look at happiness, whether he's happy, we're at this question, is happiness completely under stress? When it comes to happiness, we have total stress and withdrawal. So happiness is in retreat, in loss. I definitely don't see him as happy. And even if this is about another person who has chosen someone else in another relationship, I can tell you now, no, things are really hitting the fan here. Because with him or her, I very clearly see whether it's the person themselves or outside influences, their current situation, a significant financial loss. And there's a restlessness, an uncertainty. Maybe everything always worked out before, everything always fit, everything was always under control, but now nothing is happening in a controlled way anymore. I have everything here is getting out of control. Right now it's already out of control. As I said, the pressure of decisions. He made the wrong decision. I definitely don't see him as happy. If this is about other people, as I said, whether it's a relationship, family, friends, whatever, I see him completely nervous. It's not his own energy that he's taking on here. And it's shown very clearly again, this hecticness, this restlessness, it's coming from someone else. Ooh, right? And there, I sense the tension in him. I really do see him as active, but not because he wants all these activities, this hectic pace, all of it. It's like he's being pulled into a swamp, you know? Whether it's that he's in another relationship, and the other person says here and this and there, and that needs to be done again, right? This who, right? So I myself would get really restless if I were to pick up on this energy. Really, really, really nervous, because that's how I see it here. And he doesn't want that. He's actually totally overwhelmed. He's completely stressed out. And yes, he's at a turning point. He's not happy. He currently feels connected to you. That's what I see here in a collective sense. I see thoughts about communicating with you, you know. So there were things involved that made him... Let me mention it again. We're talking about the collective here, okay? I can only share his perspective, what I can see here at the moment. He perceived it as if he was put a bit under pressure, maybe in the communication. And I see him as being very oversensitive about the whole situation here. Maybe he even told you, wow, no, you're stressing me out too much, putting too much pressure on me. That's quite possible. But in his thoughts, I see that you are actually completely relaxed, that he has really blown everything out of proportion, and that in fact he reacted in the wrong way. Because now he realizes his situation is totally, well, enough to make you sick. I see him completely full of doubts. He is doubting. He is doubting the decision he made. His determination was the decision to do something else here, maybe to choose another person or to turn away from you. As I said, I don't see him happy at all here. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. He had planned the whole thing. Yes, it all fits now because I really see him here as someone who ran away and he overestimated it. He, yes, made a mountain out of a molehill, especially when it comes to you. And that's what he always did. He would take something small and turn it into something huge. And then, yes, it was a misunderstanding. There are quite a lot of misunderstandings now. He felt misunderstood. Maybe he always just wanted to push his own opinion through, or he just went poof, bam, and was gone, didn't say anything more about it and just left you standing there. And that's what's coming up in his thoughts now, the connection with you, the communication. And actually, it's that you are a totally relaxed, deeply laid back person where he's thinking, wow, am I stupid? That's how I see him here, because now in his situation, he's realizing what an incredible stroke of luck you were, the connection with you. So I definitely don't see him as happy. No, the general doubt about whether he can do anything right here ever again. I don't see him as someone who's now thinking everything through in detail. That's not how I see him here. But what I find very good, he is thinking about how he somehow has to maneuver his way out of this. He wants out, he can't take it anymore, and a decision needs to be made here. And I see the decision, your loved one, your counterpart, I see them making a solution-oriented decision. Memories come up about what happened with you, the connection. And he also feels, wow, that contact was actually, why did I never really see that? Maybe I never really perceived intensely or consistently that there were real feelings involved. Love is also at play here because the love has actually deepened. Whether you were just in the getting to know each other phase or already in a relationship, if you were in a relationship, I sense that there was always a blockage between the two of you. There was always something blocking her. There was always some kind of stress factor, be it from outside, from something else. There was always a bit of tension between you. So it was never completely easygoing, but always a bit tense. So never like, more like, that complete letting go. Because in his thoughts, as I said, the contact with you, and as you know, I always say everything the cards show. Even if it doesn't quite fit the question right now, or you might say it actually does fit the question. But that's how it is. With him, I do see the thought directed toward you, and especially the thought of getting back in touch with you, So if things are at a standstill between you right now, or if the contact is just dragging on, this back and forth like a roller coaster ride, right? What I see is that in his thoughts, there is communication with you, but I also see a personal meeting with you. The personal meeting, even in a domestic setting. So yes, it could also be that you say, okay, maybe you just go out for a coffee or something first. But then it's already, or you quickly come home. In any case, he'll definitely have some kind of excuse, right? He would say something like, wow, I really messed things up here, I miss you. That's not the situation I have, because I definitely don't have him happy. But he also feels, and this is the thing, he really turns inward and reflects on himself, So, okay, maybe some people might say that what he's thinking now is very selfish, right? Because he's only focused on himself here. But that's actually a good thing, because by really focusing on himself now, he's also reviewing the past and all the mess that happened here. Above all, I have you in the past because he is also concerned with that. And yes, now he's saying, I'm at a turning point, a crossroads. A decision has to be made. And I see activity, I see movement, and it definitely looks good that he's finally starting to focus on himself, because he hasn't done that at all until now, right? Yes, it's also like this. If we now look at the line regarding contact, well, when it comes to contact, I'd say it could be 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months, up to, but as I said, I'm always a bit cautious when it comes to timing, but I'll say it again, you have it in your own hands when it comes to the timing. And yes, we have the paths, and then we also have the birds as well. And if we look at the whole thing here in terms of timing, well, I'd say, as I said, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, okay. But we are already in the time frame where, in terms of weeks, I would say 4 to 7 weeks. So it could very well be that we are now within these 2 months where something might happen. That he, in any case, that doesn't mean because we are now. I have to be a bit careful here, not with the question of whether he will contact you. But in terms of change, that he takes this path, makes this decision. No, I am leaving the past completely behind me. I have to let go of it now because this restlessness is really wearing me down. And during this time, as I just told you, he will reach the point where he makes this decision firmly, not wavering left or right anymore, but saying, okay, now I am going in this direction. And that definitely has to do with you. Let me put it this way. According to this reading, and as I said, collectively, it really looks like he will actually get in touch with you again. I see the contact between the two of you returning. So something is happening there. He is not happy. He is reflecting. He realizes, my God, what have I really done wrong here? Those are just my own words. I don't see him that directly here right now. He does realize that things didn't go well, but I don't see him yet at the point of understanding. What exactly did he do wrong? So I don't see him that directly yet, because right now he's still mostly blaming others a bit. That's how I see him. Okay, then let's see what else we get. Fantastic. Please take a look at this. You really are the topic. I always say you are his target direction. The decision, the crossroads, the turning point has to do with you in 2 ways. That's how it is. And I also see the contact between the two of you. And he realizes that the connection with you, the attraction, and that quite a lot has really gone wrong here. There were many misunderstandings, which perhaps no one wanted to talk about, and people just ran away from them. Now we have the storks. The storks also say, now is the time. He sees, he notices, he feels that it is time to change something, to change his situation, because he is entering a phase of lightness through this transformation. A complete change, transformation. And he is also transforming. But it can also be the case that for some people, if he has just moved in with someone or something like that, that this move might be reversed, that he moves out again and says, hey, kick her out. That's also possible because I see the move here again in a double sense. So from that perspective, we really have, now it's coming, everything is in flux, in transition, and it has to do with you, and this change is moving in a positive direction for you. So you can just sit back and relax. Of course, in the end, you always decide whether you even want this anymore, because everyone is responsible for their own happiness. And you are bringing happiness into your life all on your own. And you know whether you can be happy with him. And the way I see your situation here, you will also be observing when he reaches out again, because I see you here as being doubtful. If he does get in touch again, you'll be watching. Has he really changed? Is this change stable? Or is he or she just pretending for my sake? Right? But that's exactly how it should be. You always make your own decisions freely, just for yourself. Dear ones, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching and wish you a wonderfully beautiful, dreamy day. Goodbye.